The pediatric step-down unit had never had a patient quite like him. A broad-shouldered war veteran named Gunnery Sergeant Elias Ford, deaf since an IED blast 3 years earlier, admitted after a car accident left him with a shattered femur and a temper that scared off to nurses before lunch. When the newest hire, a soft-spoken rookie named Priya Anand, barely 4 weeks out of orientation, was assigned to his room, 2 senior nurses actually snickered in the hallway. "Good luck," one whispered. "He threw a water pitcher at Denise yesterday." Priya said nothing. She simply picked up his chart, took a slow breath, and walked in carrying something none of them expected. A small laminated card with the alphabet in American Sign Language. If you've ever been the person nobody thought could handle the hard case, stay with me. Because what happens in that hospital room over the next few days will remind you that patience and quiet courage can reach people nothing else can. Elias had spent 3 years watching people flinch when they realized he couldn't hear them, watching their patience evaporate the moment communication required effort. So when Priya walked in and, instead of speaking loudly and slowly like everyone else did, sat down, made eye contact, and carefully signed hello. "My name is Priya," with hands that were clearly still learning. Something in his chest cracked open just slightly. He blinked, startled, then signed back so fast she couldn't follow. And when she laughed softly and shook her head, gesturing for him to slow down, he actually smiled for the first time since the accident. Over the following days, Priya spent her breaks watching sign language tutorials in the break room, determined to give him more than pity and clinical efficiency. She learned to ask about his pain level, his family, whether he wanted the blinds open or closed. Small dignities nobody else had bothered offering because it required extra effort. The other nurses, still amused at first, grew quiet as they noticed Elias's blood pressure numbers improving, his agitation fading, his appetite returning, all because one rookie treated him like a person instead of a problem to be managed. What none of them knew was who exactly they'd been dismissing so icily. On the 5th day, a documentary film crew researching veteran rehabilitation stories arrived at the hospital requesting an interview, and the unit director nearly dropped her clipboard when she realized which patient they were there to see. Elias Ford, it turned out, wasn't just a veteran with a temper and a shattered leg. He was the last survivor of a 6-man team ambushed in a valley overseas, the one soldier who, despite losing his hearing in the same blast that killed 2 of his brothers, that had crawled nearly a mile under fire to drag his unconscious captain to a medevac point, saving the man's life through sheer will after everything else had failed. He'd received the nation's 2nd highest Valor Award for it, though he never spoke of it, never wore the ribbon, never let anyone connect the quiet, furious patient in room 214 to the headline that had once run across every major news outlet. When the producer asked him, through an interpreter who had made his hospital stay bearable enough to finally agree to this interview, Elias didn't hesitate. He signed slowly, deliberately, so everyone in the room, interpreter included, could understand exactly what he meant. "The rookie Priya. She's the one who saved me this time. Not from a bullet, from feeling invisible." The senior nurses who had laughed at the assignment stood in stunned silence as the words were translated aloud, several of them suddenly finding reasons to look away, ashamed of how quickly they'd underestimated both patient and caregiver. If this story is warming something in you right now, take a moment to like this video and subscribe, because sometimes the smallest gestures, a few signed words, a little patience, one changed someone's entire will to keep fighting. Before he was discharged, Elias asked the hospital administrator for one favor, that Priya be assigned to train incoming staff on basic sign language and disability communication, so no future patient would ever feel as alone as he once had in rooms full of people who wouldn't slow down long enough to truly see him. The hospital agreed, and today, a small plaque hangs outside the training room door bearing his name and a single sentence he insisted on including. "Some heroes carry rifles, others carry patience. Both save lives."